We're starting off with a mini fest for fans of the little brick, and if you're not a fan, watch this John Cooper Works on the road and you might become one. It's all about British sports cars in part 2, from opposite ends of the spectrum and opposite sides of the world. But we start with the latest industry news, as usual. Only one headline matters this week, and you know what it is. The Obama administration has asked Rick Wagner to step down as GM boss, effective immediately, and he'll be replaced by Fritz Henderson. Let's say that one more time. The US government has, for only the second time in history, asked the head of a private company to resign. We've seen a bit of corporate bloodletting on both sides of the Atlantic in the wake of the banking fiasco, and executives deemed responsible for the mess they're in have quite rightly been asked to step aside, because they are responsible for the mess we're all in. Rick Wagner may not go down in history as the best chief executive GM has ever had, but he's certainly not the worst, and more importantly, is quite simply not responsible for the collapse of the car industry worldwide, the collapse that has led GM to the edge of the abyss, along with Ford, Chrysler, and half a dozen or more car makers around the world. It's the bankers who did that, and let's not ever forget it. Making Rick Wagner fall on his sword must therefore be seen for what it is: the anti-Detroit brigade putting the boot in simply because they can. Wagner won't be surprised by that. Corporate backstabbing goes with the territory in GM management, and in his 32 years with the company, he'll have seen plenty of it before now, although not by government. But it does mean that GM has lost an experienced, talented and clever executive at the precise moment that the company needed him and stability at the top more than ever before in its history. And it's not just Wagner. GM has said that other directors will be going as well, and it bids to satisfy the wolf pack and thus be given a further $16 billion to keep itself alive.